needs. Go ahead, David, sorry.
I love your energy. So impressive. I'm going to go way back. I was struck when you said you worked 2 years, saved money before you could invest. What about your lender relationships? How did you establish that first lender relationship?
Being an agent.
To go?
Being an agent and using agents that use my buyers.
Okay.
Because see, being in Florida, I mean, I have to call 10 lenders to get a call back. You know, even I mean, even with a real estate agent, like I'm spending full price offers, I get no response for days, if ever. So mostly, you know, that's why being an agent was so helpful.
Because
at
you
first.
knew lenders.
Lenders,
yeah,
the title, you know, I kind of was able to go through a lot of bad transactions on other people's deals.
And
You know.
And what kind of a lender relationship do you have right now?
It's about the same, yeah.
One bank, one person?
So some of them are, I mean, a lot of my rentals are with one or two, and then most of my land and stuff like that is through, so I probably have like, I mean, not much, 2 or 3.
Okay, good.
You know, I like to try to keep, you know,
Yeah.
the same ones going.
So you can call them and say, I need this, and they do it.
That, and, you know, the more loans you have, the more buying power, and like even like turning in your documents could take a month.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a lot of properties and they need every insurance deck page, every lease, when you have multifamily, every lease, all your statements, I mean, that could take a really long time. So, you know, having that, and I also recommend, like, if you start stockpiling cash, like, put your deposit account into a really good bank with a great lender.
That's right.
Because when you have more money at their bank, you know, they see you as a way better borrower. So as soon as I started getting these really good bank relationships, I took all my money out from my bad relationships and put them in here. So now it's like, I mean, I haven't turned in like financials in almost 2 years, but I've done millions of dollars worth of deals with them, in and out, you know.
Yeah, no, that's a great
So you
point.
just transferred your money into...
Yeah, I just like, if you, okay, so I don't want to mention names, but like, okay, I'll just arbitrary names. You got your Wells Fargo, you got all your money here because that's just what you had, right? But you know, your lender is going to lend you onto you, right? So usually when someone lends to you, the bank likes you to open up a deposit account also, right? So you're always going to open up your bank account. You're always going to open up your deposit account, right? So, you know, if that's a great relationship you want to nurture, I mean, but don't have maybe throw everything in there, but just start throwing money in there. You know, start building your account. You know, you don't want to leave all your money where they're not serving you at all.
Right.
You know, and that's a really good way to kind of like leverage what you have without really leveraging it, you know? And something like I've done some random things too, like, you know, when you have a deposit account, it's like, hey, you guys have any business lines of credit I can get? You know, and I've got some dude said yes and gave me 60 grand. Okay, cool. Off with no collateral, you know, because I have the cash, just, you know, for a worst case scenario. So like, you know, and even like credit wise too, it's like, you know, I use credit cards. I pay everything on the credit card. I pay the points off every month, so I, you know, right at the statement balance, you know. But like, you know, I'll try to get the top limits I can get on all these too. Like, you know, I think I had one with like $7,000 or $8,000, and I was like, I want like 50, and they gave me like 30. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, so it's like, you know, and that's just like a, you know, a great relationship with the banks all the way around. And it's also a great way for you to like mitigate your risk. Like worst case scenario, okay, well I have, you know, I think I have like over 100K where I can swipe credit cards. It's like stupid.
Yeah.
You know, but if I get in a bind, you know, but you're not going to get that from everywhere, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, the you know, longer term, I mean, you know, we've got some clients that they do a lot of deals with, you know, certain banks, right? So those banks know them. They build up a history with them. You know, they've done a number of different loans. So, you know, so sometimes when you run into maybe a deal that might be a little more risky, right? A lot of times that lender will be willing to loan with you because they know your track record.
And another
Right,
good thing
so-
to do is like you were talking about, like, so in, when I was trying to get, there was a point where I was like trying to find, like, I was doing some construction loans, I was trying to find a bank. So what I do is I made like a resume. I like, you know, kind of say like, I've been in business this long, here's all of my banks that I have, like, I have $1 million loan here, Liberty Financial, here's this person, here's their number. I have 3 construction loans with this. Yeah, here's like a rough copy of my portfolio, so I kind of like, put references down where you want to call this guy with this loan. I mean, you're going to do underwriting, you're going to see it's there, call him. And that's kind of helpful to get your foot in the door for, with lenders and stuff like that, for sure.
Some
Especially
amazing-
lenders.
Amazing tips, Greg. Amazing tips. These are really good. For somebody who's just learning, really amazing. Thank you.
Yeah.
You have any lender tips, Shell? I've been looking around for our lenders in the room there, Shell. Yeah, so, but.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
I'll come back and talk another day.
Yeah. We're actually going to have Shell come and be one of our speakers here coming up in the next month. So, from the lending perspective, as well. But it's just great to have that good relationship with the lenders. I mean, that's a great point. So, other questions here in our last about 5 minutes or so?
What's next?
I don't know. That's what I was trying to say back there. When it's so funny. Like the last time I was here, they asked me like, "What's next?" And
Yeah.
I never really have a good answer for that.
The last time you were here, your next was, say, we just purchased this home in Florida, and
Yeah.
I'm headed down there, and so we'll see you back in April, which is now. So he came back, right?
Yeah, I
So,
mean-
but you've been down there for 5 or 6 months or something. Right?
Yeah.
4 or 5.
I
What
came back a couple
investments with short-term
Yeah.
rentals?
Do what?
Do you invest into short-term?
I have one
rentals?
Airbnb.
One of
Mm.
like it, like the
Yeah.
cash flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I've noticed following you on Facebook, you've started, maybe looking and investing down there where your other home is.
No.
No?
No, I was telling for these guys for. I'm
No.
gonna keep it short. Like I would have, it's really difficult market and
Yeah.
difficult as the industry standard of professionals. Like
Yeah, okay.
nothing's easy,
Yeah.
nothing's the same. I don't know anybody, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, why am I gonna go through all that if I'm
Yeah.
already,
Right.
let this fizzle out and I get,
Yeah.
one day I just feel like doing it.
Yeah.
Now obviously I'm
I-
always looking at bigger assets and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But like,
So I
have one single
saw you
family.
went and, yeah.
I bought one single
Yeah,
family,
there
but
you
the
go.
only reason why I got it is because it's on a commercially zoned lot.
Okay.
And it's in like a redevelopment district on a corner alley.
Yeah.
And it's, rentable condition, everything. And, that was really the only reason why. It's still, I haven't done a thing to it. Oh, I
Yeah.
put a roof on it,
Yeah.
but it's still sitting there. I know, it's like, part of me is like, man, should I have bought this thing? But,
Yeah.
it'll just be another,
Yeah.
a rental or I don't even know what's going to be.
Well, I think one of the next big things is wedding date.
I was over that.
Yeah, wedding date coming up.
Yes, sir. About a month from, what's today's date?
Yeah,
20
today's the 14th.
14th, like
yeah.
6 weeks left of my,
A question in the back, sorry.
Yeah, how do you see the market is going? Do you feel that we're gonna have a crash, and if yes, when, and if yes?
Dude, somebody asked, you're the second person that asked me that. My answer is I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's why you gotta invest to
Thank you
mitigate
for
and
keeping
take
your
risks.
language clean.
You know what I mean? You gotta, that's why it's important to have your infrastructure, like, my primary residence, fully funded HELOC, some type of cash flow to take care of like that house and maybe another one, and have any type of like, set your lines of credit up to, start with like mitigating first a little bit, then taking more risk, and then the more you mitigate, the more risk you can take, but start with mitigating first. Like don't immediately just go out and like invest 200 grand. It's like, okay, I'm gonna stop for a second. Do I have a solo 401k? Do I have an IRA? Do I have these other instruments that I can get now while I can, because I'm just starting out? Whole life policies. I wish I would have done, a long time ago for sure. And then you kind of make yourself like market proof in a sense. So that's kind of the way I feel like I've run myself, is like, these development deal, all that stuff's great. It's gonna suck if whatever happens, but like I know that I'm good at my core, and I don't get emotionally or attached to like anything. Stuff's you're gonna have a tornado, you're gonna rip a roof off, you can have a house burn. All this stuff could happen. So whether it's a market crash or just things happen, you've got to mitigate, and you got to start by mitigating and having some kind of, reserves or line of credit or something that you can pull into until you're really on your feet to be able to take more risk. And once you keep, once your mitigation is strong, you can take a lot of risk, and that's really the best way to do it because, it's like, I'm good here, I'm not going to lose the house I'm living in, or maybe, it's like if you've got a lot of assets, like, some people will have maybe a certain part of their portfolio completely paid off, and some of it that's leveraged, instead of just like leveraging all of it, even though they can, because they feel like, okay, well, anything happens, I have this is my mitigation. I don't have any debt on this, Some people have, other assets that they use it for mitigation, you have to have the mitigation in the mindset of investing because you can invest, but if you can't mitigate, it's just be very, very short-lived. I mean, one mistake,
Well, I think we're running out of time for Greg and I, so we'll get ready to introduce. But I can just, we get asked that same question a lot. I won't speak residential-wise because we only do commercial. But, somebody asked me my crystal ball on commercial and Nashville. You've probably heard me give this answer several times too for many people that are here. But, I kind of use the example that we get calls probably once a week or so saying, hey, Brian, hey, Jan, we want to invest in Nashville. We've been told we need to invest in Nashville, but can you tell us why we need to invest in Nashville, right? And so I will say to them, okay, so if you think of Nashville, what's the first thing that comes to your mind as far as industry, right? And they always say, oh, music. Music's got to be number one, right? So if I tell them, well, actually, healthcare is by far the largest, would that surprise you, right? And they're like, yeah. And I say, okay, well, music's like number 7 on the list. So when I go down and we go down through and talk about the industries here in Nashville, it really surprises people. And I think because of the diversity of industries in Nashville, you hear the experts and we go to conferences and all that. When it comes to commercial, they talk about if we ever hit another bubble or any of those, you may have 3, maybe 4% downturn on commercial, but I really don't think that's going to come anytime soon for commercial wise here because there's so many jobs coming here. There's such a diverse industry.
Even inflation,
here.
does inflation or interest rates
Yeah.
affect what you're saying, you think?
No, and for us too,
Why is that, do you think? You think that's it because they're just using different type of money?
I think it's because Nashville's sustainable.
That's it.
It's a lot of like multi-family developments in the same area for everybody to be able to walk.
Yeah.
But
Well,
we have a diversified fundamental economy with lots of money coming from outside the area into
Yeah.
the,
Right.
Well, that's
so
for sure.
the cash inflow and it's sustainable cash
Yeah.
inflow.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of opportunity for
Right.
cash to develop. It's not by any
Yes.
means
Yeah.
Yes.
tapped
And
out.
industries just keep coming here. We keep an eye on residential because what happens in residential, commercial will see a little bit of that, but we don't see it for a year, 2 years down the road, right, on the commercial side. So, just I can, like I say, I can only speak commercial wise. I can't speak, residential, from that standpoint. So, anyway, Greg, we really appreciate it. Thanks for coming up from Florida.